In this video, I do unforgivable things to innocent children's toys. But I don't bear all the blame here. Luck has its part, fate, if you will. And of course, the fact that I was surrounded by a lot of other irresponsible people.
Or in other words, welcome to Monster Bash Live. Monster Bash, for those of you who don't know, is a delightful event where a group of irresponsible and far too creative content creators get together, create random illustrations of bits and bobs of monsters, put them all into a pool that we draw randomly from, and all picking the same number of prompts have to create a creature or monster from the prompts we pick. This has been done several times before, first conceptualized by Trent over at Miscast, and I have also participated before. Some of you might remember this interesting creation that I made a couple of years ago. This one's a little bit different because this one is in person. A handful of the amazing Monster Bash creators from previous Monster Bashes have come to my studio, and I have the honor and privilege of hosting Monster Bash Live. We'll roll to see what order we'd pick our prompts from the hat in, mainly because we all share the same pool of prompts in the same hat to make sure no one picked the same prompt as anyone else. Let's make a monster. Oh! Card 2, we've got the smile. Oh! Then we've got
bug leg.
Bug leg theory. Yeah! Next up, just a little bit of in Chad.
No!
Yes! I'm gonna swap these. Yeah. Now the Monster Bash took place over 2 days, and the first day was a little bit more relaxed and social. We all got to know each other a little bit, and aside from drawing and picking our prompts, we all had a couple of hours to head out and about into town and find the perfect pieces for our monster puzzle. Now while I didn't explicitly have anything in my prompt that was an innocent little baby toy, there were a few parts that just seemed to work too perfectly with a picture that was forming in my head. Cultist baby with kissy mouth and Chad jaw summons a demonic creature. This thing. Just
that is pretty creepy, yeah.
Yeah, it's very creepy. It's a toy chest. The baby's just playing with his toy.
Sure.
Right? And summons from in here. We can have it underlit. Do really creepy.
Instead of an altar, it comes out of the toy chest.
It's just opening up his little toy chest.
It's pretty good.
It's playtime. Day 2 has arrived and playtime is over. It is time for Monster Bash Live. 6 hours on the clock. It's time to get creative. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, I've made a few weird things in my time, and I know that it really comes down to planning, especially with something as wild and weird as what I'm going to be trying to create here. I've got a bit of a scene coming together. I'm going to try and modify these toys to create a cultist baby with a Chad jaw and kissy fanged lips. This is sounding so weird already. And I'm splitting my prompts into 2 characters. The second character is the play toy, the creature that has been summoned by the weird cultist baby, which is, let's say, a modified bunny. So we're done with the bits. I've got the monster bits covered. Now I've got to figure out drying time. What should get done first? Sculpting the chin. That's got to look great, so I've got to do that first. With the plan in place, it's time to gather all materials, and the rule was basically everything in my studio was there for people to use. So I set about tearing my babies apart. Oh my god, this is so wrong. This is so, like, just they're children's toys. It's just plastic, everyone. Don't be so weird about it. I've got a plan and I've dabbled with materials. It's creepy as hell, but I didn't melt the baby's face and the cosplay sort of dried. I need to work in thin layer, but it does mean I can do the baby sculpting later because there's going to be drying time in that magical chest. But I'm excited to get to the real baby because the special effects are going to make it amazing. Now, I did mention everything in my studio was up for grabs in terms of using it for projects. That included the laser cutter in my biased opinion. So I laser cut an acrylic sheet to put all this on top of with the view that I could have some lighting effects, some glowing lava-y looking blood like this chest is like a portal to hell itself. Oh, and I mixed up some milliput and got a helpful tip from one of the other contestants that you can mix it with a little bit of oil paint, which I did to create this beautiful intestine effect. Thanks, Bill. That was a really useful tip, and these intestines look delightful. I have got one of the centerpieces mostly blocked out, and it's going to have a bit of time to cure and set, which is the main thing, because then I can put that aside and start sculpting. By the way, this is the darkest bit. Like, this video is, it's grosser than my usual content, but I'm hoping that the things I sculpt will lighten it up a little bit, add a bit of playful fun. It's probably not going to get better. I added a little bit of weathering around my chest with some scrapes and clawing marks of people who desperately wanted to escape and never managed it, and glued my chest open in place with the lid so I could later paint dark insignia on it. With my key prop complete, it was time to move on to the main players. Alright, I have hidden my baby in the corner of the room because of that! First order of business, is there an off button? Quiet. No, I don't want none of that. Please have an off button. No, there's a back window, there's an off! So happy. Time to make it pretty. For the Coulter's baby, I had to start off by blocking out the Chad jaw, which is that was one of the features of one of the prompts I did. That was actually Dave. Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate you drawing that. With the silhouette done, I worked with cos clay to shape the outside of the face. This actually works really well because cos clay, though it's a polymer clay, cures to be a little bit rubbery, which kind of works perfectly with this baby sort of material, whatever this plastic is. Another helpful tip that I got from Amy prior to this competition is that you can cure cos clay or polymer clay with a heat gun. Oh no, he's bashing against his jaw. Go, do it again. This is horrific. This is the scariest thing I've ever made. Now, I'd posed my bunny demon with armature wire, which was working really well, and aside from sculpting out the detail of that gnarly smile, which was also one of my prompts, I then had to use this cosplay to sculpt out the claws, which would be spidering out from the middle of the bunny. These would later be painted golden, as was coloured in the prompt. By the way, this is the first Monster Bash with coloured prompts. We all decided to make it harder for ourselves on the first day, which by this stage on day 2 we were probably regretting. I have finished all of the core elements. I feel very uncomfortable about all of them, which means I nailed it. So now it's time to bring them all together. How long have I got left? Hour 32. I have an hour and a half left to make all of this make sense. Let's go. With the clock ticking into the final hours, it was time to really start bringing the scene together and add some details. I had gathered from my shopping day a spare box from Bunnings, a square of carpet that I could use to shape out the corner of a room, and using spack filler and a bunch of different plaster materials and some paper, I created a janky wall texture and laid down what could look like wallpaper once that was dry. But while it was drying, I moved back onto my cultist box, stained it all up to look a little more old and decrepit, and then laid down my wallpaper and gave it all a really nice ripped and gnarly texture to bring the whole thing to life. Or maybe more accurately, closer to death. I am missing some fairly key components of my piece, but I reckon I can make it work. Pentagram time! Where's my brush? Time to stuff. All right, let's do this. You ready? Those in the final stretch of the competition, there's the final details that would add the most to my build. Grime smeared all over every surface, the blood-drawn pentagram inside the lid of the chest, airbrushing a little bit of life onto the details of the baby and painting some of those details like the teeth and lips, and of course, the golden spindly legs of my demon bunny. All right, I have 2 minutes to do robes. They're gonna be very simple robes. Ooh, where's that hot glue gun? Gareth, hot glue gun, it's in the tabletop room. Quick! Ah!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tools down.
This Monster Bash was so much fun. Even though we're calling it a competition, really it was just a big collab and it was so much fun and everyone was just helping each other out the whole time. It was a race against the clock that we all opted in for and leaned into the pain, and my God, we all had a good time. And I can certainly say that we here at JAZZA'S Studios are incredibly grateful to have hosted all these wonderful people and for the opportunity to meet them in person and make good friends and really share in the love of content creation and creative chaos. Go check them out. The link's in the description, and all of you who participated, I know you're watching this, we love you and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for coming. It's working! Yay! There we go, that's a good segue. So I divided mine into two. I have a cultist robe thing, which I turned the baby into a cultist, with a Chad jaw with kissy lips, which I also sort of merged with these sort of like orc teeth and the lip ring. Oh, there we go, look at that. It's a very kissy cultist baby. They have fun together, they just have such a good time. Cause I got the bunny prompt, so I used the bunny prompt. And then he's just been modded gently with this is so fun. With the horrifying teeth and these spindly golden claw things. So it's like very crab-like. Put it all together into a little bit of a fun, playful scene.
That's awful.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the worst thing I've ever made, yeah. That was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please go check out everyone else's videos. Everyone's made a video. The playlist is in the description. It's a rad time. There's some amazing talent here that you're gonna really enjoy, and I've had a blast sharing this day with you all. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
You know what would make me even happier? If you clicked that like button and subscribe to me and all my friends for all sorts of fun with art and creativity. Otherwise, that's it for now, and until next time, we'll see you. You're supposed to tune in. Are you f***ing kidding me, you guys?
We were saying it.
Bit more energy, come on.
What are we supposed to be saying?
Until next time, we'll see you later.